in a way, it's so, what I've been describing is such a immediate implications of taking economics seriously and applying it seriously to problems, that I find it very difficult to think that it's all that novel, all that. But for political purposes, for general understanding, I suspect it is very, very new and very, very, in some ways, even revolutionary. And I think I'm beginning even to understand why. Many of the services that Mother Nature provides for us are unseen. We don't even know that she's doing it. So that's one thing, that the lack of our understanding of the natural world, which scientists, ecologists have been giving us, our lack of understanding is one reason we don't take it seriously. And it's very hard for us to say, oh, that's valuable. Particularly if in order to protect that, we have to give up some income. That trade-off we found very hard to do sometimes. The second reason I think is more subtle, and I'm increasingly beginning to think that despite all what we write about and try and persuade governments to take seriously, there will be resistance. Income in the hand, today's income in the hand, e.g. GDP, is a powerful weapon for governments when they compete against other governments. Think of the political advantages a country has if it has a high flow of income, because it can then deploy it for buying machinery, armaments, bribing other people, other countries, and so forth. A country is taken seriously only when she shows an 8% growth rate these days. So it's entirely possible that GDP will be continue to be used as a weapon, strategic weapon. And that's a very hard one to get out of. So what's the solution? Well, the solution has to be a cooperative one. It's like a prisoner's dilemma game, where, let's say, each of us wants to outdo the others, our neighbors, in terms of the quality of our clothes or some such thing that we compete over. Conspicuous consumption is what Veblen, the great sociologist Veblen, talked of. Well, then it'll be like a rat race. Each wants to outdo the others and therefore has to spend more money on the stuff. And we end up, all of us, spending a lot. But of course we are all about the same because we're keeping up with each other. Now suppose we all decided to take a cut. It's going to be unstable, because even if we agree to take the cut, say 100% cut in our expenditure on clothes, or whatever it is that we're competing against, we are no worse off, because everybody is, but each of us will wish to now beat the other, and the spiraling process will start again. So the only way to do that is some kind of a commitment device, to use a commitment device, to ensure that that runaway inflation, if you like, doesn't take place. Now we usually think in terms of taxes. So we could say, well, let us slap a high tax on this good because it's a luxury good, it's a competing good, and people are wasting their money on the damn thing. So tax would be good, so that way it becomes more expensive. So even though we are competing, we all compete at a lower rate because, of course, in order to beat you up, even at a lower level, I'm giving up other things, and so I'm resisting from doing that. So that's a standard solution. At the international level, how to use that insight to curb the desire of governments to pay lip service to wealth creation, but have an eye on GDP, because that way it can have influence, it can have political power, and so forth. I don't really know. I think it's something that the international community have to come to grips with. I don't see any other way.